we're going to stop talking at 6:45. Well, we're going live at All right.
Wave to the crowd. Thank you. Make sure to see
Welcome, everybody, into Panther Broadcasting and Prepcast.com. My name's Tom Hartbeck. Alongside me is Adam Lewis, and our cameraman and producer is Gavin Anderson. Today, we have a bragging rights game on our hands. It is Francis Howell North going on the road today. Zumwalt. What did I just say? Fort Zumwalt North going on the road today, taking on the Francis Howell Vikings. And tonight at Francis Howell, it is First Responder Night. And again, if you are listening to us and just tuning in, we thank you for all you do, our first responders and military. So, Adam, North last week, heartbreaker to say the least. You're up 35-14 at one point, 21-0 at one point. That has to be a tough week of practice.
Definitely a tough week of practice after a game like that, a game that the Panthers really just had their hands around the throats of battle and just found a way to choke it away at the end there.
And Zumwalt North tonight, when they were warming up, didn't miss very many passes, so the passing game had to have been worked on last night as the Panthers now take the field clad in all white. It is a packed house here. 5,000 strong is what they expected to come to the game. We've got a full house on the home side, a full house on the visitors side, and we've also got people lining the fence sporadically on the right side of your screen, which you will see here momentarily. But it is bragging rights. Zumwalt North and Francis Howell. The Vikings 1-0 and the Panthers 0-1. Zumwalt North 36-35. They lost to Battle, and Francis Howell 45-0, a win over Columbia Hickman. So Adam, this leads us into the Athletic Republic keys to the game. Normally, it stopped the passing game and contained the athletes for Francis Howell whenever you play him. But they still have Taj Gurley, and they've got 2 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, 2 starting quarterbacks with the addition of Gabe James this year, a really solid player, really, mobile for a quarterback. He can run the ball and throw the ball very well. And then Taj Gurley, like you said, a receiver. Sometimes they'll bring him in as a jet motion, kind of as a running back type, similar to North. But they've just got a couple weapons downfield that the Panthers really need to target. And
the Panthers also have a very, very good secondary that is complemented by Connor O'Neill, Carter Madare, and then you get Jalen Lee and Jeremiah Dickerson getting in there every once in a while as well. But it is very, very tough to contain a always tough Francis Howell team. So the key tonight, Adam, in my mind, is do what you did against Battle, but you have to execute better on defense.
They definitely have to execute better on defense. We talked about the tackling last week. They really struggled to bring down Ricky Dunn for Battle, and I think they will have an easier time with their tackling today against Francis Howell. They don't quite have a big, beefy running back similar to him.
We didn't see a whole lot of DJ Jones carrying the ball last week. I'd like to see him get a little more involved.
DJ Jones, yeah, he's been a real solid player for the last couple of years for the Panthers, being on the varsity roster ever since he was a sophomore. And he's a really hard guy to take down. He's real strong, drives his legs well, and I believe the Panthers should give him the ball a little more as well.
All right, well, that concludes the Vandalia Bus Lines pregame show. We will be back with football after the national anthem on Panther Broadcasting and Prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Want to be prepared for an emergency? Here are 3 easy steps to ensure you and your family are ready in the event of a disaster. Step 1. Put together an emergency supply kit with essential food, water, flashlight and radio, first aid and medical items, and copies of important documents. A supply of water and non-perishable food items is essential, so prepare a 3-day supply in case of an evacuation, or a 2-week supply if you are confined to your home during an emergency, including 1 gallon of water per person per day. Be sure to gather flashlights and extra batteries, and some extra cash to include in your emergency kit. Step 2. Talk to your family to develop a disaster preparedness plan. Have a couple of designated meeting places in case your family members get separated. It's wise to have one meeting spot right outside of your home and one outside of your neighborhood in the case of an evacuation. Decide on an emergency contact who lives outside of your area and make sure everyone in your family has their phone number. Develop an evacuation plan and practice it with your family twice a year. Don't forget to include your pets in the plan. Practice following multiple routes to safety or sheltering in place in safe spaces in your home. Once you're safe, remember to contact other family members through email, text, phone, or social media to let them know you're okay. You can also work with your local Red Cross to list yourself as safe and well. Step 3. Be informed. Learn what you need to know to keep your family safe. Know what kinds of disasters and emergencies are likely to occur in your area and monitor the news if a watch or warning is issued. At least one family member should possess knowledge of first aid and CPR. Share your emergency knowledge with friends and family and encourage others to be prepared too. For more information and a full list of survival kit items, visit redcross.org/prepare.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
And welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast.com and Panther Broadcasting as we're catching the end of the national anthem here in a stirring Jimi Hendrix-style national anthem, complete with a guitar toss played by D.D. James, local guest here at Francis Howell. One of the best atmospheres in St. Louis, has a lot of people talking about it. Zumwalt North, always great, but if you want to make a stop and you are a high school football fan, come here to Howell. You will not be disappointed, as the Panthers are clad in their away all whites, and Francis Howell will be in all yellow. Not too hard to distinguish them tonight. And Adam, again, it's going to be a good one. We're thinking this is a tight one. The Panthers have both been picked by Gateway Sports Venue and by GAC Football to win this game.
Yeah, the Panthers really, even coming after a loss against Battle and a dominating win for Francis Howell over Hickman, it's kind of weird to see that the Panthers are still getting picked to beat Francis Howell. Maybe it has something to do with the last 3 years. The Panthers have kind of shown a dominance, even though there have been some close games the last couple of years.
Yeah, that is true. And in terms of the rankings, they didn't take too much of a hit. The Panthers dropped from number 5 to number 8 in the local rankings, and some people even say they should have been off. But they did not drop in the state rankings, still ranked 18 out of the top 25 in the state of Missouri via Max Preps. But again, do you think they were kind of overhyped going into the season? That might have had something to do with a little overconfidence? Or is this team just taking a little bit to gel?
I think it's really just the Panthers have always kind of struggled their first couple games. They always try to put some of their toughest competition that they can find at the front of their schedule to really get a jump on themselves at the beginning of the season and see what they need to work on. And a lot of the times you see them coming out the gate kind of slow, struggling. Even though if they'll pick up wins, they won't necessarily play the cleanest game of football. And
you've got 2 more games this season and the next coming weeks against an always big Timberland team, and you also have Washington, who played you tough last year and the year before that. But tonight is going to be another telling game how this season is going to go. They had Battle by the throat. They couldn't put the ice pick into the eye, as Doug Armstrong might say if you're a Blues fan. But tonight, the key is basically contain Taj Gurley, watch the passing game, and your secondary has really got to step up, and hopefully those lines can come together.
Yeah, we've seen the Panthers secondary be pretty solid over the last couple seasons, and going up against a Francis Howell team that always likes to test out that deep ball, it's going to be a good challenge for them here.
And the game ball was just delivered by helicopter, believe it or not, as it is first responders night here at Howell. This is a big, big night. I would say there is close to 5,000 people here. A full packed house on the bleachers on both sides. And some people also going across the fence on the far side of the field. So again, you are watching Prepcast.com. My name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis. Our producer today is Gavin Anderson. And it's the Vandalia Bus Lines pregame show. Starters today on offense for the Panthers. The line, Logan Knapp at tackle. At guard, Adam Confer. Center, Alex Goki. Guard, Christian Spilker. Tackle, Andrew Hoppy. And in the offensive skill position, starting quarterback, Chris Reckel. Halfback will be DJ Jones. The slot wide receivers, Braden Miller and Jalen Lee. The wideouts, Peyton Hoker and Zach McGee. On defense, it'll be Andrew Hoppy at defensive end, Christian Spilker at nose tackle, defensive end Colin LaBelle. The linebackers, Shane Pruitt, DJ Jones, Spencer Steinmeier, and PJ Henderson. At quarterback, Jalen Lee and Jeremiah Dickerson. And the safeties, Carter Madare and Connor O'Neill. And this brings up another talking point here, Adam. Connor O'Neill at safety. We said his name almost more than anybody on defense last game. Maybe PJ Henderson was a close second. Connor, even though he's the backup quarterback, seems to be pretty happy playing defense.
Yeah, Connor O'Neill, he's a kid that really loves to fly around and hit, even though he's not the biggest athlete on the field at all times. He's still pretty young, getting his first set of varsity snaps last week. We saw him make some mistakes, but at the same time, I think he did a really good job at running up and helping make the stops on defense.
And then in the passing game, you saw Chris Raquel able to kind of move out of the pocket, throw the ball, and showed some poise at times. Only made one mistake, which was his pick six. But in terms of the wide receivers, Braden Miller had a great game as well.
Braden Miller as well, similar to Connor O'Neill in the sense that he's fresh into the varsity level. He's getting his first couple snaps last week, as we saw with that early fumble on the punt. But overall, I think he had a pretty good game too. Caught a big pass, was able to break a couple tackles and take it for a touchdown from Reckel. And I think we can expect him to just keep making more plays like that as the season goes on and he continues to get better.
So now we get set for the coin toss. The captains, Andrew Hoppy, Adam Confer, Jalen Lee, and Chris Reckel. And we get set for kickoff here. So the coin toss happening in midfield right now. Guess we got a little bit of a ground rules going on, but man, I have to tell you, it is packed here tonight to the rafters. If this game is anything like last year, we are in for one heck of a football game. Goes down to the last play. Howell got down to about the 25-yard line, floated one into the end zone, and Rob Rezix was able to get a pick in the end zone to end the game. And the Panthers were able to come away with a win in week 2 last year, but that was at home. Now you go on the road, and last time the Panthers were here, Cairo Payne put on a show.
Yeah, Cairo Payne, he was a phenomenal athlete as well. You know, we saw him go on to Missouri State and continue to have success at the college level. But overall, playing in Francis Howell, it's a real tough stadium to play in, especially here when we got 5,000 or 6,000 fans in the building.
Oh, yes.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see how Zumwalt North is able to deal with that and overcome it.
So the coaches now have departed the coin toss. And I guess we're taking our time on this one. Coin just goes up in the air. Looks like North has won the toss and has elected to receive. So again, you're going to have a good first half so that first series in the second half isn't so momentum building. And we saw that against Battle last week. That first series kind of set the tone for a very tough second half for the Panthers.
Yeah, that first series, I mean, they were able to pin Battle back. Battle kind of caused that on themselves with a bad fumble. But, they were able to get good stops early, and then that fumbled punt, Battle was able to turn the field a little bit more and get their offense rolling. So the Panthers really need to focus on stopping that.
So we get set for kickoff here. To kick for the Vikings is number 6, Josh Deal. Going back deep for the Panthers. Once we can see the numbers, sometimes they're different. Miles Weddington Braden Miller and Jalen Lee are back deep. Here we go. It is the bragging rights game of St. Charles County as this one is deep. Caught at the 5, left off to Jalen Lee, who has a hole. He's down to the 30 and dragged down. And that was actually Braden Miller who was able to grab the ball last minute. And they used a little bit of trickery, maybe got him 10 yards. So Braden Miller with a nice return. And Chris Reckel will bring his troops out to start with pretty good field position here early on. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line officially. 11:50 to go in the game as the clock starts to tick. Panthers will set up rather bunched. Hoker, then McGee, then out to the far side. Looks like you have Jalen Lee. DJ Jones in the backfield. Keeper by Reckel, who hits the hole, has room. First play from scrimmage, gets down to the 49. But the ball came out. He had to have been down. And Howell recovers on the first play.
Zumwalt North looked like they were starting this game off strong with a first down run by Chris Reckel, but he just coughed that ball up. Once again, we talked about the mistakes, the early fumbles, and the penalties. It seems like Zumwalt North once again struggling with that.
So you're going to get another short field. Great run to start out, but he couldn't hold on to it through the ground. And by my naked eye, it looked down, but referee says otherwise. So Gabe James will bring his troops to the line. Setting up Jude James, the wide out on the near side of the field. Taj Gurley is on the slot man to the far side. They come out in the shotgun. Man in motion and a early flag. Deshaun Hudson was the man in motion. And that'll knock him back 5. That'll be too many men. Checking out was Brady Holtman, was the odd man out. Again, man in motion. That's Holtman to the far side. Back to pass James, steps up looking, throws this one long to an open man, incomplete. And a late flag comes in.
And they're going to get P.J. Henderson for a pass interference, it looks like, on this one.
And the ball was way underthrown. I mean, behind the wide receivers, so to speak. So I guess the referees are going to take that pretty close. But then they say holding against Francis Howell. So that will push Howell way back. That was way in the area of pass interference. And then they wave that off and then call holding on Howell. But now the White Hat getting a conference. And the White Hat actually waves off that pass interference, is what it looks like. Now he's explaining it. Holding, pass interference, penalties offset. So there it is. So now the ball will officially be at the 41-yard line. So replay first down. It'll be 1st and 15. 3 wide receivers in the shotgun spread. That'll be a keeper by James. He rumbles forward and maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Right there, the first run play, we see Connor O'Neill flying up and getting in on that tackle. right up around the line of scrimmage.
So a crazy start to this game. Chris Reckel with a fumble. Turns into a crazy penalty for Francis Howell. 2nd down and 11 from the 46. James hands it off to a rumbling Holtman. And then we get another flag. Illegal shift.
Illegal shift is the call against the Vikings.
So again, that pushes Howell back. And we have a very disjointed start to this game. Braden Miller and Jalen Lee setting up his cornerbacks to the near side as Howell shows a bunch. Monster formation to the near side. This is going to be a screen play. Trying to hop through, nowhere really to go, and then brought down.
And Jalen Lee and Braden Miller here on the near sideline did a really good job of getting back there and trying to disrupt that screen pass.
And that was Kendall Gurley who made the catch. Andrew Hoppy with the stop. 3rd down and 17 with 10 minutes to go. And again, this Howell team loves to pass the ball. They can also run it. But Taj Gurley, I have not seen on the field yet. It's Kendall Gurley who is the slot man to the far side. As the Panthers show blitz, now they'll run it. James keeps it himself, and he gets the first.
And James showing off his athleticism there on a 3rd and about 15 or 14 yards. He's able to take it up the middle and get the first down.
But there is another holding call on Howell, and that will push them back. So we'll replay 3rd down. 3rd down and 15 from the 40 is what we'll have at 9:42 to play.
Francis Howell's offense seems like they're having similar troubles as the Panthers with just kind of shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties early on in games.
Officially 3rd and 20. I think you're right about that one, Adam. As they come out in the shotgun spread, James. Back to pass, looking, steps up, and here comes the bull rush, and give that a 3-way sack. P.J. Henderson was in on it. I also believe we might have seen Andrew Hoppy on that.
You're right, Hoppy was the first one to get in there. Henderson came around from the outside and was able to help bring him down.
So now the Panthers will get the ball back. 4th down and 21, 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 4th down and 21 from the 34-yard line. Back deep, Braden Miller. Shadowing him is Connor O'Neill. High snap. Deal. Punts it high. It bounces. And rolls to about the 30. 31-yard line officially. So the defense holds to start. And this, again, this Howell offense is a passing offense. They like to really air it out. And you have one of the best secondaries in probably the area, at least, with the Zumwalt North defense. 8:45 to go as Chris Raquel comes back out on the field for his first drive 2.0. McGee, Lee, and Miller to the far side. Miller, the man in motion. He gets it, gets around, has a little bit of a hole, tries to get out to the outside, and gets about a 6-yard gain.
Miller really having to stretch that one to the sideline. Francis Howell did a pretty good job taking back his cutback lanes.
Yeah, they did, and Zumwalt North loves to run the ball like that. Pretty much any one of their wide receivers can also be a running back, but that's how this spread option offense works. So it's Peyton Hoker, then Jalen Lee, then Miller and McGee to the far side. DJ Jones, the running back. Lee the man in motion. Hand off that time to Jones, and he is stuffed. And that'll be 3rd down and 5.
And credit to the Francis Howell defensive front, who really just swarmed Jones on that one.
They give him a yard. 3rd down and 4 from the 37. 7:40 to go. Both these teams play each other tight. Last year was a doozy. One of the best games all year and in recent memory. 2 top programs in St. Charles County. Lee the man in motion. Brickell back to pass. Looking. Throws. Has a man in the flat. That's Weddington. He gets the 1st down.
Deshaun Hudson with a real solid tackle there on Weddington.
Yeah, Miles normally a shifty guy. But that's a 1st down for North. And that's a water timeout. We'll take one as well. 0-0 our score. With 7:19 to play here in the first, you are watching Panther Broadcasting, powered by PrepCat.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by PrepCast. Once again, my name's Tom Hartbeck, alongside Adam Lewis, and Gavin Anderson is our producer and tech man today. Panthers on the march here, 1st and 10 from the 44. 7:19 to play here in the first. They made a stop on defense after fumbling on the first play of the game. 4 wideouts this time. Jeremiah Dickerson. Then Jalen Lee. Braden Miller is the man in motion. Miller gets the handoff, tries to cut to the inside. He does. Has a little bit of room, trying to get to the 1st down marker, and pushed out of bounds just after it. Nice run that time by Braden Miller, saying his name a lot early on this year.
Miles Weddington on the outside, giving him a good block, giving him a lane to cut up and really extend that run.
And Weddington going out to be the wideout this time. McGee, Miller, Weddington, and Dickerson out there. Weddington was the man in motion, but fumbled. Picked back up by Chris Reckel, who has to scramble. Throws one in the flat. Knocked away.
And last week we saw Chris Reckel throw a very similar ball that cost him a pick 6.
And quite honestly, could have cost him the game.
And we also saw last week in the Francis Howell game, number 3, Deshaun Hudson, have a very similar pick 6 in the game against Hickman. He was able to drum that route exactly like he did right there and use the speed to take it to the house.
And the Hickman Cupies, even though they have had their woes over the last few years, they improve a little bit every once in a while, but it's tough when you're really competing with 3 powerhouses out there. Weddington, the man in motion. Weddington cuts to the inside, has some daylight, gets to the 1st down marker. He's about a yard short. So it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Once again, we see the Panthers using that outside sweep and taking advantage of the cutback lanes to really break some big runs.
They give them 3rd and 2 from the 35. 6:35 to go. Weddington and Hoker to the near side. Hoker will be the wideout. Weddington the slot man. Looks like Braden Miller to the far side of the field. Jalen Lee, the running back. Reckel brings everybody to the line. He's going to keep it himself, diving forward, and he'll get it.
Panthers here in their 2nd drive of the game. They're doing a pretty good job at being able to consistently move the ball and move the chains as well.
And you're going to see this all game. Milk the clock all game long. You play it just as if it's the fourth quarter and you're trying to score with 1 second left the entire game.
As per usual with this Panthers offense.
Oh, yes. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. First down and 10 from the 32. Jalen Lee comes in now at the slot on the near side of the field. Miller the man in motion. Keeper by Reckel, who is dragged down after about a 4-yard gain. Second and 6 from the 28.
Gain of 4. Second and 6. Ball is at the Vikings.
And in on that tackle was Evan Piwowarski, who came from way outside to make the tackle on Chris. Still 4 wideouts. Lee the man in motion. Lee end around, cuts back to the inside. Maybe a gain of 2 or 3. He'll be just a shade short.
Panthers subbing in a couple players here. They got Miles Weddington and Connor O'Neill coming in for the offense.
Third down and 3 from the 25. Hoker out to the near side, then Lee. Zach McGee to the far side. Weddington is the slot man to Chris Raquel's right. Connor O'Neill at running back. Reckel. Pitch out to O'Neill, who has running room. It's going to be close, but I believe he got it. And that is a first down. Kendall Gurley on the tackle for Howell. But that'll move the chains once again. First down and 10.
You see Peyton Hoker kind of limping off the field, it looks like. Jeremiah Dickerson stepping in to take his spot on the near sideline.
Dickerson and Lee, that's a potent combination in itself. Then Weddington and McGee. O'Neill still at running back. Lee the man in motion once more. It's Lee. Cuts to the inside, falls forward for a positive gain, but only about 1 or 2. And they give him 5 on the play. Nope, 1, excuse me. Second and 9, just short of the red zone. Three minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 0-0 our score. Dickerson the wide out. And 2 men ran at the same time. That'll be probably a false start on the offense.
Penalty is against the Panthers. It'll be 5 yards. Second and 14 now.
Like to see Chris throw the ball a little bit more. I mean, we've had the same run probably the whole drive.
Yeah, and Chris Reckel definitely still has a very talented arm, and I don't see why in a second 13 situation here maybe you don't try and air it out to move the chains.
3:24 left here in the first. Again, handoff to Weddington. He somehow gets through, but not much. And a late hit as they slam him to the ground. It was Kendall Gurley who threw him down with a lineman as well, and that will probably be a first down for the Panthers.
That unnecessary roughness penalty should be a 15-yarder.
You see that call a lot with these bigger schools. Howell, Zumwalt West, DeSmet. Just when you have a larger pool to pick from and the kids are a little bit bigger.
And games between two great teams like this, you're going to see them get a little chippy as well.
Yeah, you do. And, the Panthers have, a lot more, have 2 or 3 guys who are going to go play 2 ways. Howell doesn't necessarily need to do that with having a bigger roster. So it's second down at the 12-yard line, 2 to go. Now under 3 minutes. Braden Miller, the man in motion. Reckel back to pass, looking, has a man in the flat, intercepted at the 5. And now they go the other way down the sideline. And then brought down at the 50. That one was picked off. Didn't look like Reckel saw his man.
There he goes again. Number 3,
Deshaun Hudson with the pick.
And that ball from Reckel, it was kind of hard to tell if he overthrew Weddington a little bit or if he underthrew McGee.
It looked like he overthrew Weddington from my eye.
That's what it kind of looked like to me too, but you also saw McGee coming into the picture towards the end there.
Yeah, it looked like Weddington's assignment was to curl back, like on a curl route or something like that, and then McGee was going to go to the flag.
48-yard line.
But another miscue. Howell takes over. This time it's another sweep. Hudson around the corner and dragged down by his shoelaces from Jalen Lee.
Jalen Lee, a really good open field tackle right there. And that's another thing about this Panthers secondary is they're not only good at defending the pass game, but they're very good at making their tackles out in open field.
They give him 3, 2nd down and 7 from the 49 of Panther territory. Ebbs and flows, everybody. This one's going to be a tight one. Nobody expects a blowout here tonight. We're going to be playing down to the wire. They show a tight end, and that is Brett Norfleet. Hand off to the running back Holcomb, and he falls forward, maybe a gain of 1 or 2. 1:45 to play as this clock ticks down here in the first quarter. Lots of running. Holtman will check out, as will Kendall Gurley.
3rd and 5 from the 47-yard line.
3rd down and 5 from the Panther 47. You're still in punting territory here. They show double to the near side and a tight end in the set. In at quarterback, Brooks Simmons. And then a timeout taken by Howell to solve some confusion. Crazy way to start a game here, Adam. This has been not what either team wanted.
No, it's definitely been kind of a hectic and a crazy game, you know, just so much going on, the interceptions, the fumbles, and the weird penalties at the same time.
Yeah, Howell might have had a great first drive, but then they shot themselves in the foot so many times, and the Panthers have had 2 turnovers.
Yeah, the Panthers still fighting those turnover woes that they saw from week 1.
Yeah, but, I mean, it is hot today. I mean, it's 81 degrees, not too bad, but you still get that mugginess. And also, like, the play of the line has to have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, and we saw the offensive line kind of struggle for the Panthers last week. They did pretty good opening the game, but Battle seemed to make some adjustments, and so far they kind of show flashes of doing really good and flashes of not so good.
P.J. Henderson stopped, gets through that time, gets a hit off, and that'll be a first down and a little bit more.
And the 6'6" Brett Norfleet making the catch for the Vikings.
Huge tight end, 6'6". You wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Big 12 or SEC comes calling if he can show some promise.
And he's got some big-time offers already. I believe he's already got an offer from Mizzou.
3 wide receivers out to the far side. That's where the slot man is. Simmons back to pass. And almost picked off, but Connor O'Neill was more concerned about making a hit.
He said it right there. O'Neill stepping up, throwing that shoulder and laying a good hit, but if he would have kept his head up for maybe a second longer, he would have seen that ball coming right to him.
2nd down and 10 from the 37. 40 seconds left here in the first quarter. Taj Gurley out to the far side. Then Hudson. They also show the tight end. Flexed out to the far side. Simmons, he's rushed by Henderson. Has him in the flat. And he's down a yard short. Simmons pass to Norfleet complete for 9. 3rd down and 1. Maybe one last play here before we hit the second quarter. Hard to stop when you're 6'6".
Especially when it's Connor O'Neal coming up and playing coverage on him.
He was 5'10". Back to pass, Simmons fakes, looking, far side, throws one to the end zone. Almost picked off again by Braden Miller.
Francis Howell going for the deep ball there on 3rd and 1. With it still being 4th and 1, I wouldn't be surprised here if you see them come out and try to go for it still.
And that's the end of the first quarter. An uneventful, crazy quarter there, Adam.
Yeah, once again, we talked about the mistakes from both sides really early on. It's kind of caused this game to slow down a little bit and have some confusion in there. See how both these teams are able to come out in the second quarter and turn it around.
And that'll be exactly what you're going to want to see both coaches say. I don't think either of them are happy right now. Howell, though, on the march. They'll have a 4th down and 1 from the 27-yard line as we switch ends.
The Vikings offense really starting to pick up some steam here as they're getting down into the Panther territory.
Well, if you're just joining us, everybody, my name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis, Gavin Anderson, our tech man today. 0-0 after 1. Francis Howell and Zumwalt North. Ball on the 27. Simmons in at quarterback. Then you've got Holtman. Panthers blitz. Holtman to the outside. 1st down and more.
Connor O'Neal coming up, taking just too wide of an angle there. Holtman's able to cut it up, get that 1st down, keep the ball rolling for the Vikings.
And Howell is bigger in every respect, you know, in terms of size and height, but speed also kills.
And this Panthers defense has a pretty decent amount of speed on it, especially coming from those linebacker slots. Talk about Henderson, the sophomore Shane Pruitt, DJ Jones in the middle. Those are some pretty key guys that usually you see make a lot of plays for them.
And they pinch. Looks like they're not showing blitz this time. And then we get a flag. Delay a game on the offense. Nope, well, they'll burn a timeout then. So there is timeout number 2 taken by Howell. But this has been just a crazy one, Adam. I mean, penalties, no flow to play whatsoever, and neither team has been able to execute very well.
Yeah, as you said, there really hasn't been like a flow to the game that has been established on if it's going to be more of a fast-paced game or kind of a slower game. It's been all over, really. And both teams have been struggling to execute here early on. As we start the second quarter, the Vikings look like they're pushing to capitalize on their first opportunity.
Yep. Panthers got to about this spot on their last drive, but threw a pick. Long game, though, and these games between North and Howell tend to go down to the wire. 2 years ago, a bit of an anomaly in the rain. 3 wideouts. Simmons back to pass, looking. He's rushed by Henderson. Flush from the pocket and can't bring him down. Somehow he stays on his feet, but then DJ Jones makes the tackle.
And Simmons showing a great job of having good balance in that one, as Henderson was able to clip him by the ankles and he was able to stay on his feet, push up for about a gain of 5.
2nd down and 5 from the 15. 10:45 to go as he brings his troops to the line once more. Steinmeier and Jones pinch into blitz. Hand off to Holtman, and he falls forward.
Henderson getting into the backfield, wrapping him up first.
I feel like on run plays, North's defense is lightning fast, but then when we see a pass or a sweep or a rollout, it's kind of a bit of a toss-up.
Well, and the Panthers' front seven is really focused on stopping the run, so a lot of the times you might see them have kind of a delayed reaction to dropping back into their pass coverage.
3rd down and 3 from the 13-yard line. Ticking down to 10 minutes left here in the half. Simmons still in at quarterback. Like he has down.
That's Jalen Pearson on the carry.
Excuse me, that was Jalen Pearson on the carry. But that's enough to move the chains. It'll be 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
Vikings are knocking on the door here. See how this Panthers defense can step up in their goal line.
9:35 to go in the half. 1st and goal from the 8. Gurley is the slot man. Simmons rolling to the near side. Nowhere to go. And shutting him down, Jalen Lee.
That's going to push him back for, looks like, a loss of a yard or two. Panthers had real good coverage on that near side.
So they'll push him back to the 10. Now getting under 9 minutes. Officially ball on the 9-yard line. 2nd down. 8:50 to go. Snap. Simmons gets it out to the corner. Touchdown, Vikings.
Pearson with a great move to fake to the inside and
That
use
was.
his speed to break it to the corner. You could see almost the whole Panthers defense was fooled on that one.
And timeout. Official timeout. Looks like there is a Panther down in the end zone. Now in the middle of your screen. But he's off the field. Howell to kick. 6-0. Vikings took till halfway through this 2nd quarter for our first touchdown. And the Panthers now have come together on the far side, but no timeout has been taken. So we have a quick injury. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back. 6-0 Howell, 8:43 to go in the second quarter.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic Training Center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody. Panther Broadcasting powered by Prepcast. 6-0 our score. Vikings on top of the Panthers here in the second quarter with 8:43 to go. Josh Deal on to kick. There is a Panther down out of bounds in the end zone. We are yet to confirm who that is. Deal on the kick, but he will continue just to warm up as finally they have gotten the injured Panther to his feet, but he certainly needs help. And that is P.J. Henderson. Would be given to how he is walking. Looks like he's putting weight on both legs, but would be surprised if we saw a lot of him at least until halftime. Deal to kick. Snap back, ball down, kick up. And good. So 7-0 our score. Howell on top of the Panthers. We'll be back in 30 seconds on prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. 7-0 our score. Howell to kick off to the Panthers after they took the lead. Here in the second quarter, my name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis and Gavin Anderson in the booth making things work today. Deal to kick, Braden Miller. Miles Weddington and Jalen Lee back deep. And it is a booming kick end over end into the end zone for a touchback.
Panthers coming out here in the second quarter. They're really looking to turn around this offense, try and tie this game up before we get into the second half of the game.
And I think either coach will take 7-7 at half.
The struggles that both teams have showed early on in that first quarter, I would agree with that.
So Chris Reckel breaks the huddle, and we come to the line with McGee to the near side. And out to the far side, Miller and I believe Weddington. DJ Jones in the backfield, ball on the 20. Hand off to Jones, he hits a hole and then gets maybe a gain of 1.
The Vikings have done a good job so far stuffing the Panthers' run in between the tackles. I've seen the Panthers have some success running to the outside, but so far they haven't had much going up the middle.
8:20 to play here in the second quarter. Second down and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. McGee, then Miller. Weddington and Lee out to the far side. Reckel gets the pitch out. That was Weddington. He didn't have much to go on.
Hudson again with a good tackle out on the near side. He's had a great game so far, and we're not even that far into it yet.
That he has. Third down and 8 from the 22nd, 22-yard line. 7-0 our score. Dickerson, Weddington, then Miller and McGee out to the near side. Four wide receivers. Reckel rolling, far side, looking, rushed, gets away from one, tries to get a positive gain, and at least gets it down to 4th and 7.
Expect the Panthers punt team to come out on this one.
We only saw him punt, I think, once last week. We're not entirely sure if that was P.J. Henderson. I hope it was not Jalen Lee, because I had not seen a 5 show his back yet. 4th and 8 from the 22. Punt is away. It's a good one. Caught at about the 45 and wrapped up just before the 50. Jalen Pearson with a nice scamper return.
In the center, Alex Goki getting down there, being the first one to wrap up Pearson.
And so now I can confirm it was P.J. Henderson, the injured player. Jalen Lee walking out to play some defense. Official timeout being taken. So with 6:28 to go, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. 7-0 our score. Panthers trailing the Vikings on Prepcast.com.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast.com. 7-0 our score. Howell on top of Zumwalt North here in the first half. 6:28 to play here in the second, as Howell takes over from about midfield. Simmons in at quarterback. You've also got at tight end Northfleet, who's the man in motion. Direct snap. That's Jones, who was also in there, and he gets about a gain of 7. You had two quarterbacks in there, Simmons and James.
James stepping back onto the field after being out for the last drive, where the Vikings were able to put some points on the board. They're coming back out to him.
Brady Holtman, the running back. Gurley, the slot man, to the far side of the field. Second down and 2. Keeper again. And that'll be another first.
Francis Howell here the last couple plays, they've done a really good job of being able to establish that run game. And that's going to open up their deep game with the play action passes later on.
Yeah, and they like to throw it, as it looks like they will here. They bunch to the near side of the field, one out to the far. Simmons keeping, option play, spinning away was Holtman. He's into the secondary, dragged down by Jeremiah Dickerson.
An option play with the quarterback and Holtman, we see them carry it out to the left, and two Panthers had a chance to make that play right around the line of scrimmage, but they were both able to just fail to make the tackle.
Ball on the 19 now, 1st and 10. Pearson again, end around. Looks like he's just short.
Vikings here coming out. Kind of seems like they're beating the Panthers at their own game.
Yeah, it does, but I think more specifically they're beating them up front. We talked about it yesterday that, well, last game, that the Panthers' weakness was their line, but it was last year as well. Pearson again to the 5. Connor O'Neill with a stop.
The Vikings here just continuing to pick up chunks of yards at a time. They once again get it down inside the 10-yard line.
Touchdown Vikings.
James able to take that one on the option, take it to the running back, keep it himself, and dance into the end zone. Late here in the second quarter, the Vikings extend their lead to 13-0 pending the PAT. And they get the ball coming out of the start of the second half as well.
That they do. So this next drive for the Panthers be very crucial if they want to stay in this game. You're going to have to make a stop. Snap back, ball down, kick up, and down Broadway. 14-0. 3:52 to play here in the second quarter. We'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
to get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast.com. My name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis. 3:52, Panthers down here, 14-0. And it's been a weird night because neither team has really had any momentum or move. Howell has just gotten the breaks and has won the battle up front so far, Adam.
Yeah, Francis Howell really using their size to their advantage and getting a good run game going because they've kind of struggled with their deep passing game so far early. They decided to switch up, go to that run game, and their offense has seemed like it's almost unstoppable so far the last couple drives.
1st and 10 from the 20. First and 10 from the 20. Usual suspects out there. Miller, the man in motion. Hand off to Jones, going nowhere.
Once again, that Francis Howell front seven, they're coming out in that 3-4 defense, similar to what the Panthers run, except a lot of the times they'll play their linebackers off the ball. But right there, they all walked up on the line as if it was a 5-2 and just able to keep shutting down that run game.
2nd and 11 from the 19. 3rd down, 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the half. North needing a score right now. Howell shows blitz. Reckel back to pass. Gets a hospital pass off that time. Looks like Dickerson. And he gets a gain of 1 or 2. Jalen Lee.
This Vikings defense just seems like they're swarming to the ball.
Yeah, you can't do much about it. I mean, the only thing you can do is try and block, but when you don't have the line and you're getting beat up front, there is not much you can do.
Well, not only does it seem that Francis Howell is beating them with their size, but it seems like their defense is using their speed to their advantage, too. You see a lot of the linebackers and players in the secondary coming up, making some good plays.
Looks like they're going to blitz here. Reckel back to pass. Nobody there.
That pass was just a little too high and outside.
Looked like it flew on him a little bit.
Puts the Panthers in another punting situation here.
With also 2:17 to go. You got plenty of time to score. If you're Howell, you got to really get this punt away. Reckel the punt. Bad snap, but gets one off. It's high. It's a helicopter. Down to the 45. And that'll be it. So 2 minutes to go for Howell to maybe take a 21-0 lead into the half. And Adam, your thoughts as a former player here so far, as this is not a situation the Panthers are accustomed to.
No, the Panthers really, a lot of the times you never see them get down 14-0 in a game. Usually their offense is able to roll and get some points on the board, even if their defense is struggling quite a bit. But the Vikings have just been dominating both sides of the ball so far.
I guess what I'm looking for on the Panthers' end of things, what's the cause?
It's got to be that O-line play. The O-line seems like they're really struggling to handle that front seven of Francis Howell.
And they're always big. They're always quick. Howell, for many, many years, it was Howell and Zumwalt West in those TJ Moe days. Looked like a college football game sometimes. Simmons back to pass, caught by Gurley in the flat, and then he's swallowed up by a couple of Panthers, but somehow gets away, and he's gone. Touchdown, Vikings. Kendall Gurley.
And wow, what a play that was.
I agree.
With 3 Panthers in the area, it looked like they had him swarmed, and he's able to break out of it, break a couple more tackles as well, as he cuts back to the inside and makes his way to the end zone.
And again, I mean, these first 2 games of the year, I mean, you could see battle again down the road in the playoffs, and depending on how the bracket shakes out, which we don't even know yet, you may not even have the opportunity to see them. But it looks like all roads are going to lead to you and Chaminade in your district. You're obviously going to be battle tested for that with these first 2 games. So, yes, you want to win this game, but are you starting to think now, all right, let's limit the damage, let's try and come back as best we can, but we really want to use this as a tune-up?
Well, I think the Panthers are going to come out and try and play the best game that they can no matter what. Rather that means them coming back and winning this one or not. Their goal is to try and come out and just try and make themselves better every single play. And that's kind of the reason that they put teams like Francis Howell and Battle on the schedule early on in the season, so they can figure out their problems and try and fix them throughout the season, so they're ready for teams like Chaminade in the districts.
$21-0. Deal to kick with 1:56 to go in the half. High booming kick in into the end zone. 3rd straight touchback. Look out, everybody. This Howell team is, I'm not going to say loaded, but are certainly poised to go far. And you're going to really have to, I'm going to have to say this. This team does look different than in past years.
This Francis Howell team, yeah, definitely. We usually see them as being a more bigger team. They seem like they're kind of smaller than what they have usually been in the last couple of years, but they've definitely countered that with adding a lot more speed to this roster.
Miller, the man in motion, but then looks like it was an end around. Going nowhere. That was Weddington.
And the Vikings defense on that far side did a good job of staying hold, watching for that reverse to show up. They were able to stuff it in the backfield.
1:30, 90 seconds left here in the half. Loss of 2. You got McGee, then Weddington, then Lee, then Dickerson, I believe. They show blitz. Option. Getting through Reckel, going nowhere.
Reckel doing all that dancing around the line of scrimmage causes the Vikings defense to really swarm him, so just ends up kind of dancing himself into another loss.
Actually gains 1 yard, 3rd and 11. So a half of football that Joe Bacon and company will want to forget if you're a Panther fan as well. We saw this, though, in the first game of the year last year with Battle. It was not pretty, and it ended up coming back a little bit, but that turned into a 103-point track meet. Reckel back to pass. He's swarmed. Gets away. Now has some running room. Gets a pass off. And incomplete. He killed some time off. 22 seconds left. 4th down and 12.
Panthers once again looking to punt from a similar situation. Right around that 20-yard line. They just really haven't been able to get out of their own end of the field on offense.
No, in fact, the best play of the night believe it or not, was the first play that ended in a fumble. .22 seconds to play here in the first half. 21-0. North down. Snap is back. Good punt this time. Out of bounds just short of the 50.
16 seconds here in the timeout left for Francis Howell. And with the way that we've seen their kicker on the kickoffs this game, you almost wonder if in 16 seconds they're able to get 10, 15 yards and put themselves in a field goal spot.
I'd agree, because his PATs are going high above the crossbar. They're not just kind of kicked in there. They're propelled through those uprights. So I could see him maybe hitting from the 30, quite possibly, around the 25-yard line. Simmons, the quarterback. North shows blitz. Hand off to, no, it is a keeper around the far side. Goodbye.
And there is a flag down the 41-yard line.
In the area of holding, I would think. So that will come back.
Vikings come back with their own reverse type play.
And that was Jude James. Jude and Gabe James are transfers from Edwardsville. They certainly look it.
Two very good athletes. As you can see, they're just making plays all over the field.
Holding is the call against Francis Howell.
Francis Howell really came out here with a solid game plan of establishing that run and then throwing in a nice few plays of their own, like that one right there.
Yeah, and I mean, to their credit, they've executed very well, and they've just won the battle in the trenches, in my mind, so far. In terms of skill, I would say it's pretty even with North and with Howell. But up there at the line is where games are won. I mean, you're a lineman yourself, so it's just really tough to say anything more than that. The line play for North has to be better on both sides. And also with the 3-4 defense, as Simmons is back to pass, rainbows the far sideline, and a pass interference call coming up. And the flag the time has expired, and you cannot end a half on a defensive penalty.
And that ball, once again, from James, seems like it was overthrown a little bit.
That's it. So they wave off the flag, and they will head to the locker room. And the coaches for Francis Howell are livid. I mean, they are livid, and they are in the White Hats' face. 3 of them. And that's it. So, after one half of play, 21-0. Francis Howell on top. Panthers got their work cut out for them in the second. And we'll be back on prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Want to be prepared for an emergency? Here are 3 easy steps to ensure you and your family are ready in the event of a disaster. Step 1. Put together an emergency supply kit with essential food, water, flashlight and radio, first aid and medical items, and copies of important documents. A supply of water and non-perishable food items is essential, so prepare a 3-day supply in case of an evacuation, or a 2-week supply if you are confined to your home during an emergency, including 1 gallon of water per person per day. Be sure to gather flashlights and extra batteries, and some extra cash to include in your emergency kit. Step 2. Talk to your family to develop a disaster preparedness plan. Have a couple of designated meeting places in case your family members get separated. It's wise to have one meeting spot right outside of your home and one outside of your neighborhood in the case of an evacuation. Decide on an emergency contact who lives outside of your area and make sure everyone in your family has their phone number. Develop an evacuation plan and practice it with your family twice a year. Don't forget to include your pets in the plan. Practice following multiple routes to safety or sheltering in place in safe spaces in your home. Once you're safe, remember to contact other family members through email, text, phone, or social media to let them know you're okay. You can also work with your local Red Cross to list yourself as safe and well. Step 3. Be informed. Learn what you need to know to keep your family safe. Know what kinds of disasters and emergencies are likely to occur in your area and monitor the news if a watch or warning is issued. At least one family member should possess knowledge of first aid and CPR. Share your emergency knowledge with friends and family and encourage others to be prepared too. For more information and a full list of survival kit items, visit redcross.org/prepare.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Want to be prepared for an emergency? Here are 3 easy steps to ensure you and your family are ready in the event of a disaster. Step 1. Put together an emergency supply kit with essential food, water, flashlight and radio, first aid and medical items, and copies of important documents. A supply of water and non-perishable food items is essential, so prepare a 3-day supply in case of an evacuation, or a 2-week supply if you are confined to your home during an emergency, including 1 gallon of water per person per day. Be sure to gather flashlights and extra batteries, and some extra cash to include in your emergency kit. Step 2. Talk to your family to develop a disaster preparedness plan. Have a couple of designated meeting places in case your family members get separated. It's wise to have one meeting spot right outside of your home and one outside of your neighborhood in the case of an evacuation. Decide on an emergency contact who lives outside of your area and make sure everyone in your family has their phone number. Develop an evacuation plan and practice it with your family twice a year. Don't forget to include your pets in the plan. Practice following multiple routes to safety or sheltering in place in safe spaces in your home. Once you're safe, remember to contact other family members through email, text, phone, or social media to let them know you're okay. You can also work with your local Red Cross to list yourself as safe and well. Step 3. Be informed. Learn what you need to know to keep your family safe. Know what kinds of disasters and emergencies are likely to occur in your area and monitor the news if a watch or warning is issued. At least one family member should possess knowledge of first aid and CPR. Share your emergency knowledge with friends and family and encourage others to be prepared too. For more information and a full list of survival kit items, visit redcross.org/prepare.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific, one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific, one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
And welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. My name's Tom Hartbeck. I'm alongside Adam Lewis. And Gavin Anderson is our cameraman and tech guy today. Howell getting set to receive.
And this first defensive drive for the Panthers is really going to set the tone for this entire second half. Have they found a way to shut down this Francis Howell offense, or are the Vikings just going to continue to put points on the board?
And I spoke with a few high school football pundits during halftime, and their kind of consensus was that this North team's offense was pretty predictable. And hopefully that can change going forward in this game. Gurley back deep. Davis Herbst to kick. It's a pooch kick. They keep it away from Gurley. A bouncing ball down to the 30, and that's it.
Panthers trying to catch him off guard with a high and short kick. But a good job fielding that ball, because we know with the football it can always bounce weird ways, cause a lot of teams trouble in the return game.
So the Vikings will come out from the 31. So a new half of football, 21-0 our score, Panthers down. And Howell shows two wide receivers plus a tight end. North is not blitzing. Now they will. They show it delayed. Pearson around the corner off tackle. That's an 8-yard gain.
The Vikings continuing to get pretty decent yardage out of those outside run plays, those sweep-style run plays.
And those are the kind of plays that North normally excels at. But watch out, Class 6. You might have a dark horse here in Francis Howell. Ball on the 39. 2nd and 2. Simmons, option play, going to keep it himself, has the first down. And that'll move the chains.
The Vikings really love running to the side of Brett Norfleet.
Oh.
He usually does a good job at helping them set that edge.
Well, how could you not? 6'6", probably 250 or 275. First and 10 from the 44. Just under 11 minutes left here in the third. North shows blitz. Pearson the handoff. He runs counter. He has got a nice gain, maybe a gain of about 6 or 7. And Pearson has pretty much replaced Brady Holtman at running back so far this game.
And Holtman's got a couple carries, but Pearson's really gotten the majority of them. He's done the majority of the work on the ground as well.
And we spoke too soon. Holtman comes back in at running back. Spencer Steinmeier made the tackle, and looks like North jumped a little early.
That's the nose tackle, Christian Spilker, jumping. And that's just another mistake that you can't have if you're the Panthers. I mean, the nose tackle lines up directly over the football, and you're still jumping off sides.
2nd and 1 from the 47-yard line. 10 minutes and change. Keeper by Simmons has the first down, dives forward, and ticks more time off the clock.
Zach McGee, the replacement for P.J. Henderson at outside linebacker.
And that P.J. Henderson loss is going to be something that we are going to have to monitor the rest of this game and next week, because P.J. is, we've said his name quite a bit the first quarter and all of last game, as Holtman runs forward. And this looks like a face mask.
The Vikings are going to get another first down out of that one. Pushing the ball even deeper onto the Panther side of the field.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, first down, and that's a big, big gain on the penalty. That pushes them all the way down to the 27-yard line. Howell again showing 2 wide receivers plus a tight end. Simmons again with the keeper around the corner, and he is short by a yard.
The Panthers really just struggling to set that edge. Vikings are just able to hit it every single time and get just pretty decent gains.
And Gabe James checking in back at quarterback. James and Holcomb in the backfield. James, handoff to Holtman, hits the hole, down to the 5, rumbling forward. And they're going to mark him at the 6. Chris Reckel made the tackle. One big thing about this North defense, you're hearing the names. Jones, Steinmeier, Lee, Dickerson, O'Neal, they're all making tackles. Well, guess what? That's your defensive backfield. You want your linemen making tackles.
That defensive line not giving much of a push tonight. The Vikings offensive line has just outmatched them the whole time.
2nd and goal from the 1. This has not been the Panthers' night. From the shotgun, Holtman in for the score.
Vikings extending their lead to a 4-possession game.
And the last time we saw this, it was the Jackson game, but you got to have one of these every year. Sometimes it's the last game of the season, sometimes it's game number 2, but better to get these jitters out early.
You'd much rather lose a game big early on in the season than it be in your last.
Snap back down and good. So 28-0, 8:46 to play in the third. We'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific, one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic Training Center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody. My name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis. Howell getting set to kick off. Update from around town. Parkway West and Summit. Summit up 24-0. Eureka Marquette at the half 21-7. Fox and Rittner. Fox on top 21-0. Lafayette and Lindbergh. Lindbergh leads 26-0. As a happy bounce is going to come all the way down to the 10. It was touched. And that's got to be the hardest break of the year. A ball that landed at the 1-yard line. Ended up rolling and rolling down to about the 10. And it's Howell football.
Once again, you're just seeing some undisciplined play from the Panthers here as this game drags out.
To finish the scores, Lafayette, Lindbergh, 26-0 at the half. Lindbergh on top of that one. Val Catholic is on top of St. Genevieve, 33-0. And then also the big game on the east side. CBC up 28-0 early in the third quarter, last update, against O'Fallon.
And a big league for Val Catholic over St. Genevieve.
That's a very big lead. That's a rivalry game as well.
Yeah, in that crosstown game.
Well, this year, I would have to say, if you're looking to be a neutral party and want to see a good football game, go to the Howell Zumwalt West game. That is a rivalry. It is always packed, and it should be a good one. Zumwalt West is much improved this year. 2 Class 6 rivals. And if you're going to see a crowd that rivals this one, I'm sure that game will be impressive. And looking forward now for North, I mean, you're down 4 possessions. You come back in this game, you've done something right. And let's knock on wood, but you're starting to, turn the page to Timberland at this point, Adam.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it just in the demeanor that the players carry themselves with. They just really seem like they're not 100% into this game anymore as the Vikings continue to put the score on.
And then you had the P.J. Henderson injury, which is a pretty big dent in your defense.
Just overall, it seems like the Panthers have been on a spiral down from the start of this game, and they just haven't been able to get out of it.
There's all kinds of media coverage you can get from this game if you look it up.
28-0. Panthers trailing the Vikings. Back to pass, Simmons to the end zone. Touchdown.
The Vikings looking to go up 35-0 here, and in the event that they get the ball back, without the Panthers putting some points on the board, we'll be in a turbo clock game.
That we will. In your memory, in 4 years, has this happened to you?
Never happened.
Never happened in 4 years.
Turbo clock many teams, but never had it happen to me.
Wow. That's how rare this is, everybody. And you never want to knock a team, but Coach Joe Bacon puts these hard games on the schedule early for a reason. Because if you look at how the teams have gone in your district the past few years, there is not a over 500 team except maybe for Chaminade.
And not only that, just looking at the way Francis Howes came out this game, it's probably a good argument to say that Chaminade doesn't have a team to the level that Francis Howell has this year either.
No, I would probably say if I look at how things have gone so far, Francis Howell's better than Chaminade by far. And Chaminade being Class 5, when they play Vianney, what's called the Marionist game in the MCC, that's going to be a telling game on how the Zumwalt North Chaminade game probably, more than likely will go, barring a major upset of North. Because, that district, everybody, go on Nisha and look. It is not a very strong district.
And the new additions of Webster Groves, I believe, and as well Chaminade.
Kick is deep. With some room. He gets down to about the 25.
25-yard line, that area the Panthers just seem like they haven't quite been able to get past. We'll see if this drive proves any different.
Was a 21-point win when we were here year one with Cairo Payne. Was a close one last year. Was also probably close the year before. What was the year before Cairo?
The year before we went to an overtime.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a rare one-sided game. Reckel back to pass. Floats one up. Caught by McGee. And the sideline says no. He couldn't hold on all the way through.
No, and that ball came out of McGee's hands when he hit the ground. Did a good job going up and getting it, but just couldn't quite tuck it in.
Second down and 10 for the Panthers. 7:10 to go here in the third quarter. Trying to do something on offense. They show blitz. Reckel gives it to Braden Miller, and he's going nowhere. Well, 2 prospective losses on the year. I mean, 30 down, 35-0. You're now at the running clock. The comeback is unlikely at this point, but I mean, you can't look at it as a loss of this season because you have a very good chance of going into the state playoffs 7-2.
A very good chance with the way the rest of their schedule is shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, Alton last year, 2 wins. Float one high, picked off. That's Hudson again. 40, 30, 20, 10. Goal line touchdown.
And Deshaun Hudson, just what a phenomenal defensive player. If this guy isn't on any college scout radars, he needs to be, because his ability to read the ball as a defensive back and come up and make a play on it is just unreal.
No, I'm not going to make that comparison because it's not the same. But last time I saw a game like this, it was the state title in 2006. And in Class 6, Blue Springs South won the game. And it wasn't pretty. 42-7 was the final. And they were just outmatched. But these are 2 schools that know each other well. This is a normal matchup. This is on the schedule every year. And I'm not going to say it's an upset, but you know, media outlets were picking North to probably win this game.
Yeah, and here we are at a 42-0 game. This game is eerily similar to the Panthers' sole trip to the Show Me Bowl game in 2016, I believe, when they played against Vianney in the state championship. Vianney just absolutely had more talent in that one.
Yeah.
Panthers' offense, once again, was just struggling to get going, and I believe Vianney ran away with the score. It was like 49-14 to finish that one.
I called the game on 89-1 The Wood. I remember it very well. And Vianney had a man who is a Golden Domer by the name of Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams stepped into Notre Dame as a true freshman and was working in as a starting running back.
And North was a good team, but again, Vianney ran that monster veer offense, you know, where they really didn't even have a quarterback.
And Williams was just unstoppable with it.
Oh, yeah. Bobbled, picked up, that's Kyron, that is Weddington, far side. Falls forward and gets down to about the 22. But again, like, were you in there in 16? You were freshman.
Yeah, it was my freshman season.
So Vianney ran a seven-man line, 1 wide receiver, and then 2 blocking backs, basically, Kyron Williams in the backfield. That's all they ran. And, you have an offense like that, it's hard to stop.
Well, and especially with the offensive line that Vianney carried that year.
Yeah.
And with Williams not only being a phenomenal athlete, but just such a powerful runner, he was almost impossible to tackle. And that was only his sophomore year, too.
Reckel has Lee in the flat. That'll be a first down, a little bit more. Nice little flash there in the pan. But you're right. It was only his sophomore season. And Vianney, I believe, went back-to-back. No,
I believe it was they won his sophomore and his senior year.
Yeah, his sophomore and his senior year, you're right. But, I mean, that, like, Vianney would be a great opponent to play for North every year, in my mind.
Yeah, even the last couple seasons where Vianney seemed to struggle, they're always just a really good team. Always a bigger team, similar to Francis Howell as well.
Howell blitz. Floats one out to DJ Jones. 5-yard gain.
The Panthers struggling to get Jones the ball up the middle due to that front seven. They're finding ways to give him the ball out of the backfield now.
We haven't said his name much, if at all, in these 2 first games. Chris Futrell last year was a great running back, that's for certain, but DJ was a very, very capable backup and was used pretty much in the second halves of games last year, and we just haven't seen the same. He's open now in the flat, bounces off his hands, incomplete.
Once again, DJ Jones, it's not necessarily to think that his talent has gone down from last year, but maybe that support from up front
I agree.
just isn't quite there.
And I don't mean to harp on it. I don't mean to, criticize a group of 5 kids, but it is what the problem is. And when you're trying to think of how this offense runs, you're going to have to do something different.
Yeah, an offense like this relies heavily on those 5 up front to get their job done every single time.
Reckel back to pass, looking, flush from the pocket. Gets a positive gain, maybe of 1.
The Panthers now going with Reckel at wideout and Peyton Hoker at quarterback.
Oh, you're right. My eyes deceived me. Hoker, a transfer from DeSmet Jesuit. He's bounced around a little bit, too. Been to 3 different high schools, you said. 4th down and 3. Hoker going to stay in at quarterback. Hoker to pass. Gets through to the far side. First down. Peyton Hoker turning the Jets on.
Doing a good job avoiding the sack in the pocket. Bouncing around back there, able to make a play with his feet. Get the first down. We're rolling under the final minute of the 3rd quarter here.
If North can score on this play and stop the turbo clock, you might say they have a glimmer, but they'd have to play perfect on defense.
Their defense would definitely have to try and force some turnovers to give their offense a chance to put points on the board very quickly.
Yeah, just to get back in this game. Little scat play to McGee, spins away, stays on his feet, and he scores. Peyton Hoker to Zach McGee. Touchdown Panthers.
Coming into this season, we always knew Hoker as a number 2 had a very talented arm. And right there we saw him put that touch out for the 6'3" Zach McGee, and he's able to haul it in, break a tackle, and walk his way into the end zone.
And I have to say this. I would think that Hoker's going to be the quarterback for the rest of the game. If North can get a couple of scores, as that one's up and good, so we still have the turbo clock 42-7. But what I just saw Peyton Hoker do is something I didn't see Chris Reckel do. When Reckel had his big long pass play, it was a rollout and he floated one to Braden Miller. who took it wide into the house. Hoker just threw the ball to McGee.
Yeah, and we saw him really step up in the pocket and deliver a pass downfield
Yeah,
rather than rolling out and also having your receiver make a play
I agree
to have a 70-yard touchdown.
And, you know, he's not a big guy by any means. But what would you think it would take for Joe Bacon to say, all right, we're going to move Chris to wide receiver and Hoker's the quarterback?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say just based off of this game, but this game and going on in the future, if their offense is able to provide success with him at the quarterback spot, using Reckel as more of a weapon at slot or X.
Because he was a very good wide receiver last year.
He was, and you could definitely use his speed as a quarterback, but if you can get him into the place where you can get the ball in his hands deep downfield, that speed could be even more effective.
So we shall see. To me, that was a glimmer of something special. I liked what I saw with that. He was in pressure. The pocket had collapsed, and he was able to get something off. Pooch kick, caught by Jones. He got through, dragging Panthers down to the 50 and just passed.
Panthers once again with that high and short kick, just not having much success in trying to turn the ball in their favor.
Returns it into Fort Zumwalt North territory at the 49-yard line.
49-yard line is where we'll start. Howell going to keep their number one offense out there, it looked like.
Also, I want to thank Pregame for being here tonight. Man, nine different forms of big-time media here covering our activities here tonight. Thank you, Pregame. Thanks to all the TV stations. Thanks to Greg Upton with the SPL today, the social staff, and last but not least, our coach and Hall of Famer who's here tonight, Earl Austin Jr. And the Earl time update. You follow Earl on Twitter.
Well, it's just been a tough game for this one, Adam. And I have to kind of say it was an unexpected tough game. You know, I don't think anybody thought it was going to be a 42-7 blowout right now.
No, I don't think anybody in the entire state would have looked at this game and saw a running clock going in favor of either team.
No, I didn't think so either. I thought this game was going to be 21-7, 28-14. As they get one out to Pearson again. First down and a little more. Tackle made by Chris Reckel.
Pearson lowering his shoulder there, trying to run through Dickerson on the edge.
Dickerson and Reckel got in on the play. Three wideouts, one tight end. Pass is off and well short of a streaking Norfleet.
Simmons took a hefty shot there, delivering that ball.
Yes, he did.
Francis Howell's going to come out in the same formation.
They'll bunch to the far side. Holtman, the running back. Fake by Simmons. And he's sacked. Looked like that was a greeting by Colin LaBelle, who will get credit with the sack.
Shane Pruitt was able to clip him at first. Not quite get him wrapped up. Colin LaBelle was able to bring him down.
That'll be 2nd and 14 from the 41-yard line. 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Still, go ahead.
Zach McGee subbing back in for the Panthers at linebacker.
4 wideouts shown here for Howell. Simmons back to pass, looking, rushed, picked off. Steinmeier to the 50 and dragged down. Taj Gurley made the tackle.
Steinmeier on the interception.
Steinmeier dropping back to his 45-degree angle. He's just able to read that quick little slant route, undercut it. However, with that running clock still going, there's just a little over 9 minutes left in the game. Still not looking too good for the Panthers.
The tackle was made by Taj Gurley. Taj Gurley lives not too far from me. I'm not sure where he does, but I see him a lot when I ride my bike, and he runs around the Barrett Haven Lake over in O'Fallon, and the man looks like a Greek god, I have to say. I mean, chiseled. If both these Gurley boys, I would have to think, are on college's radars. Hoker gets one off to Reckel this time, who's at wide receiver. He stays on his feet, trying to drag, and gets a gain of 5. They only give him 2 on the play. Second and 8. Ball on the 48-yard line. 8:30 to play in the game. Panthers trying to make a fight of it. Braden Miller out to the far side. Excuse me, near side now. Now it's Miller. Looks like Reckel, Lee, and McGee. Hoker, the quarterback. Hoker's back to pass. He's looking. He's flushed. Gets it out to Jones, who muffed it. He had him in his hands, but incomplete. Looked like Hoker did everything right there.
That's the second time we've seen DJ Jones drop a pass to him in the flat like that.
That'll make it 3rd and 8.
Panthers are also going to sub number 60, Nathan London, at left tackle.
Lund, the biggest player on the team. Same formation for Peyton Hoker. Reckel, the man in motion. Hoker, he's flush from the pocket. He's got to turn around. Fakes a throw. Stays on his feet. Incomplete. Almost picked off, but he showed some poise to get a pass off.
That one there seemed like two Vikings were just
Yeah.
both fighting for the ball at the same time.
So that'll make it 4th down and 8. Well, why wouldn't you go for it?
At this point in the game, you've really got nothing to lose.
Nope. Reckel will be the slot man. Miller, the wide out to the near side. McGee and Jalen Lee to the far. Hoker, back to pass, looking deep. Floats one to DJ Jones, who's then wrecked.
And the Vikings will take the ball over once again.
And you got a slow to get up, Christian Spilker.
One thing you noticed with the Panthers that last drive specifically, mainly that you could say the last 2 drives, is they've kind of been experimenting with the way that they've been moving players around. We saw Reckel bounce from X to slot. We saw them move Miller also out to X instead of his traditional slot position.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, and I thought Hoker showed some poise in the pocket and seemed to be good, throwing the ball at least, but again, he didn't have protection.
Yeah, Francis Howell was bringing some pressure that O-line just couldn't quite handle.
So Howell now with 6 minutes to play. that's offside.
Illegal motion against the Vikings.
Well, next week, everybody, we'll be at Timberland. Then we'll head to Washington, followed by Zumwalt East, Howell North, Zumwalt South, Liberty, and then Alton. Alton will come to Tom Ginniver Drive. That's a game that was supposed to be played last year, but ended up being replaced by Marquette. Keeper by James.
James on the carry.
Gets back to the original line.
Looks like they're going to give him 2 extra yards as well.
Actually gets 7.
Puts them in a 2nd 8 position here late in the game.
North almost flinched. Still 3 wideouts. Low snap. Handed off to Holtman.
Brady Ullman carry.
Then he doesn't get much.
Looks like he's going to be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, forcing a 3rd down.
Oh, it just hasn't been our night, everybody. It's a little tough to take because last year you played this team so well, but with so much lost just to graduation, and this happens. This happens in high school football, but flag on the play on holding, around the area of holding.
Gabe James around the right side.
Looked like that holding call is going to be going on Norfleet.
I mean, I can use my high school as an example. When my brother was there, his freshman year, they were 2-8. His sophomore year, they were 10-2, and went to state. You know.
Yeah, in high school football, it's really kind of a mix. You'll see some teams that dominate for long periods of time, and then you'll also see some teams who will just kind of flip it on and off year in and year out, depending on the kids that they graduate and the new kids that they're bringing up.
Well, flipping on and off, I would have to probably say, would be like a Francis House. Sometimes they're dominant. Other times they're really not. Because, I mean, the area they're in, you see a lot of kids go to, this one is rainbowed and picked off. Jalen Lee. Down to the 40. But to finish my point, I mean, you have, a team like Howell, who has kids from a huge area of St. Charles County. You lose kids to private schools. You lose kids to, maybe moving and going to a different school. But, you're in that small area. Zumwalt North has an even smaller area to draw from. It just happens. You don't see programs carry out long periods of success unless you're like a Val Catholic, where that's the only high school. In that case, it's the only Catholic high school. When you have a Webb City, that's the high school, Webb City High School. So it happens, everybody. And this is not the panic button I think some media outlets are saying for the Panthers. I can clearly see them going 7-2 as Hoker floats this one long and is incomplete. And now a flag comes in late.
It seems like all of these pass interference flags are getting called even when the receiver doesn't have a chance to make a play on the ball.
There was no chance for Braden Miller to make that play. So first down. That'll move the Panthers down to the 45. Hoker again. Got one off, caught by Reckel, spins away and gets 4 more. told you I like Chris's wide receiver play.
Now, Chris is very good at wide receiver. We saw that a lot last year. He's just so shifty out in the open space. If you're able to get the ball to him, he can usually make one or two guys miss and tack on a couple extra yards.
2nd down and 3 from the 38-yard line, 42-7. Panthers trying to get one back here on Howell late. 2:15 to play. Hoker again, back to pass, looking, steps up, keeps it himself. A little bit of a run, and slides down to protect himself.
Not something you see a lot out of the Zumwalt North quarterback, taking a slide.
No, you don't, but it looks to me like Hoker wants to play quarterback. You can tell.
And I think with Hoker playing quarterback for the majority of his football career up until this year, I'm not surprised that he wants to get back into it.
Hoker spinning away, but he's victim of the blitz. And just throws one down to avoid the sack. So there's a little bit of good awareness. He was well outside the numbers. Intentional grounding? That's what they'll give him. Penalty was declined. Still 2nd and 10.
We are just over a minute left in this game here. Minute 10, the clock hits.
Be nice to see the Panthers get on the board one more time. Hey, maybe give Davis Herbst a chance to kick a field goal. Hoker again, back to pass, looking, he's flushed. Running for his life to the far side of the field. Got the pass off to the end zone. Touchdown! Chris Reckel with the reception. And Peyton Hoker running to the sideline. What a play. That makes it 14-13.
And the Panthers here, I understand it's late in a blowout game kind of, but they seem like they're showing flashes of potentially having a really good passing offense with Hoker at the quarterback.
I agree, and I hope Coach Bacon is taking a note down on his clipboard, because the 2 drives we've seen of Peyton Hoker at quarterback, I'm sorry. As that one is a bad snap and Davis Herbst cannot put it through, but I have to make this point known. Hoker has played better in 2 drives as a quarterback than we've seen Chris play so far, except for a couple of plays this year. I mean, is that a false statement?
In terms of throwing the ball, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I just don't think Hoker quite brings the running ability that Reckel does, because we saw him break some fairly big runs in that first battle game. Not so much here, but their running game overall has been kind of non-existent tonight.
Yeah, I agree, but you also have to see, Hoker, you don't have to have a quarterback that can take the ball from the 20 to the end zone. You want a guy who can shift and get a first down. Your offense, lends itself to killing clock anyway. You have a very capable running back in DJ Jones. You have Connor O'Neill, who can play running back and who can block back there. You have Mark Futrell, who we haven't seen much this year, but his name's Futrell. He obviously has a little bit of talent. And you have athletes out the wazoo in terms of, anything. So hopefully we can work something up. And this is the first time in 5 meetings. The last time Howell beat Zumwalt North 21 years ago. Actually 22. October 8th of 1999. So well back. And this will end a long streak for Howell against Zumwalt North.
And this is also the first time that Zumwalt North has started out a season 0-2. You'd have to go all the way back to 2013 to see a season like that for the Panthers.
But they still ended up winning their district. And they could still win their district. They can still keep all their streaks alive. As Howell now will show victory formation. No sense in Coach Bacon stopping the clock, but I want to talk about the play of Peyton Hoker at quarterback. 2 passing touchdowns. He was able to show that he could run. He is smaller than Chris, I guess stature-wise, not in terms of height. But, do you think it puts a little bit of a asterisk in Coach Bacon's book or a light bulb in his head?
I definitely think it does. Another thing that Hoker brings to the table is he just seems, you talked about the poise that he brings, he just seems like overall he's got more of an awareness at the quarterback spot than Reckel does. He seems to show off those fine talents a little bit more than Reckel does when dropping back to pass and avoiding the rush and being able to scramble for a first down.
And I love Chris's play at wide receiver. He can certainly run the ball. If you need him to run a scat play from quarterback, he can. Why not? Why not do it? So that would be my thing about this game. At the end of this game, you had a light bulb go off for this team. It's up to Coach Bacon to see if it's actually going to happen or not. Now, knowing Coach Bacon, he is a little, he's pretty set in his ways because he's proven it works. But I don't know. You had 100 yards passing almost in two drives.
Yeah, and I think for the Panthers here, the big thing is, you take a pretty big loss, but once again to a very tough opponent in Francis Howell. I don't necessarily think you want to hit the panic button and just go full switch up on this offense that's provided success for the last 8 years or so, but it's definitely the experiment of Hoker at quarterback for the future is definitely something that should be worked on in practice and maybe tossed in a couple of the future games.
Well, we shall see. It is Timberland next week, again on the road. Final score here from Howell. The Vikings will play poor host to the Panthers, 42-13. And the Panthers will fall to 0-2 for the season. So for my partner, Adam Lewis, and Gavin Anderson, our cameraman, my name's Tom Hartbeck. We'll see you next week from Wentzville on Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.